everyone. I am Ivy Caluag of PSHM2B from Bulacan State University. I am here to discuss to you the meaning of good, kinds of good, the greatest good, pursuit of happiness, some errors concerning happiness. So first, let us define the meaning of right and good and the difference between the two. So, right and good are two basic terms of moral evaluation. In general, something is right if it is morally obligatory. So, what do we mean by morally obligatory? Morally obligatory is a duty or responsibility someone feels on or bound to perform because of personal beliefs and values. Example nun is yung helping a friend, taking care of your old parents, or to minimally respect another's autonomy as a moral agent. On the other hand, it is morally good if it is worth having or doing, and it enhances the life of those who possess it. So, may iba't ibang klase ng good. Una is yung essential and accidental. The next one is the real and apparent. The third one is the perfective and non-perfective, or perfect and imperfect. First, let us tackle the essential and accidental. So, essential good is those that fit the natural needs of a man as man. Such good include food, shelter, health, knowledge, virtue, and life. While accidental is those that fit the wants of an individual because of his circumstance. It is also called non-perfective because they merely contribute to the external worth or appearance of a person. Next is the real and apparent good. Real good is something which has an intrinsic value, thus we call it value. It possesses qualities rendering it fitting or desirable. It also includes both essential and accidental good. While apparent good, it is actually an evil thing, but is viewed as good under certain aspects. Ang example nun kaya natawag siya na evil thing is yung diseases, sadness, death, worry, and crimes. Next is yung perfective and non-perfective. Perfective, it contributes to the integral perfection of a person, such as education, virtue, food, exercise, and medicine. While non-perfective good, it contributes to the external appearance or convenience of a person, such as clothes, wealth, social status, and political power. The next one and the last is perfect and imperfect. Perfect has the fullness of qualities enabling it to fully satisfy human desire. While imperfect good is yung kabaliktaran naman nun. It possesses only certain qualities so that it does not fully satisfy human desire. Except in a relative or limited sense, all earthly goods are imperfect. Only God in the absolute sense is perfect good. Ngayon naman, let us move on sa the greatest good or what we call utilitarianism. So, ano ba ang ibig sabihin nun? Actions are right if they are useful or for the benefit of a majority. Kung yan ay nakakabuti para sa nakakarami. Action is right insofar as it promotes happiness and that the greatest happiness of the greatest number should be the guiding principle of conduct. Last, it focuses on the results or consequences of our actions and treat intentions are irrelevant. So, ito yung mga basic concepts doon. First is yung principle of utility. Any action is good insofar as it tends to promote happiness actions should not be considered good or bad, but only reference for their utility. The next one is the greatest happiness principle. We should act always as to produce the greatest good for the greatest number. It can mean sacrificing your own pleasure in order to produce more good overall. So, ito yung example ng utilitarianism. Condemning a terrorist. Condemning is to sentence someone to particular punishment, especially death. For the utilitarian, condemning a terrorist is morally right because this action produces equal benefits or greatest happiness or safetiness to greatest number of people concerned. So, ito yung next example. Sa scenario na to, a doctor saving 5 people from death by killing one healthy person and using that person's organs for life-saving transplants. In the greater good theory here, it implies that the doctor should kill one to save 5. Sa mga scenario na to, syempre, maraming philosopher yung nagtatanong at nagsasabi na, who are we to play God and decides who lives and who dies? Sa situation na to, may naalala akong scene sa Korean drama na napanood ko. Sa scene doon, yung bidang lalaki ay isang prosecutor na naka-assign to investigate sa kaso ng attempt murder. To be able to know who's the murderer and the cause of death, the victim's body need to undergo autopsy, which might damage the victim's organ. But it turns out that the victim's organs was supposed to be donated to 7 patients na naghintay ng matagal na panahon para makapagpa-transplant surgery. The prosecutor was stuck between giving the justice to the victim and giving the chance to let that 7 patients to have a normal life after having a transplant surgery. Pero of course, bilang isang prosecutor, it's his job to give justice sa mga tao. He thinks that it will be unfair doon sa biktima and sa pamilya ng biktima kung hindi nila malalaman kung sino yung murderer. So what people forget to do when it comes to decisions, ranging from these trivial aspects, is putting themselves in the shoes of the one making decisions. So again, yung utilitarianism, ito yung theory of morality that advocates the foster happiness or pleasures and oppose actions that cause unhappiness or harm to others. So, kung ikaw daw yung nasa sitwasyon na yan, ano yung pipiliin mo? Pwede niyong i-type or ilagay yung sagot niyo sa chat or comment box. So, ngayon, let us move on sa meaning ng happiness. So, what does happiness really mean? According to Aristotle, happiness is a complete and sufficient good. This implies A. Gusto mo ito para sa sarili mo. B. Hindi ito ninanais para sa ibang bagay. C. Natutugunan nito ang lahat ng pagnanasa na walang halong kasamaan. D. Ito ay stable. So, syempre, sa pag-pursue natin ng happiness, ito yung mga errors na pumipigil para makuha natin yon. So, number 1 mistake is not thinking about what happiness means. If we want to be happy, we need to think carefully about the kind of happiness we are aiming for and what trade-offs we're willing to make. Ano yung mga willing natin i-sacrifice or ipagpalit para sa happiness na yon. If we don't do this, pursuing happiness as a broad goal could mean you end up going after the wrong things. So, number 2 mistake, looking for happiness in the wrong places. So, we should be careful not to put too much of our hope for happiness. in finding the perfect things like job, relationship. Kasi wala naman talagang ganong bagay. There's no such thing as perfect job or relationship. Even if we do find these things, we'll inevitably find more things to be dissatisfied about. Number 3 mistake is wishing things were different. Alam ko some of us have been in a situation where we wish that we were somewhere else, or you desperately wish you looked slightly different. Pursuing happiness can backfire when we start wanting to change things that aren't within our control. Wanting to change things that aren't within our control is perhaps the best way to live a life filled with frustration and dissatisfaction. Number 4 mistake is thinking we should be happy all the time. Maraming bagay ang nakakaapekto sa ating happiness na hinding-hindi natin kontrolado. It's impossible to be happy all the time. Hindi natin maiiwasan yung mga bad things na mangyayari sa ating buhay. The day will come that someone we love will get sick or die, and you cannot help yourself but to feel unhappy about it. And that's definitely okay. If we keep on forcing ourselves to feel happy even in those times, we will only give ourselves a hard time. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that happiness should always be the goal. Sometimes it's okay not to be happy. So last but definitely not least, number 5 mistake is pursuing happiness at all. Rather than asking yourself, how can I be happy? You'd better off asking, what do I ultimately care about and what to achieve in life? Number 2, what kind of person do I want it to be? We should consider what we really care about and who we want to be, and let it guide our choices and actions. We have to be careful not to get so caught up in chasing the signal that we lose sight of what it's really trying to tell us. So that's all. That's the end of my presentation. So again, I am Ivy Caluag of PSHM2B from Bulacan State University. Thank you.